They laughed at the limp in his walk until a single message from his porch made a cartel warlord tremble. When the dust cleared, they didn't call it a ranch anymore. They called it a graveyard for the hunted. Stick around, and if you believe some legends walk in silence, this is the channel to follow. The men from the Morales cartel parked 2 black trucks outside the wooden fence of Ironwood Valley, laughing as they lit cigarettes and glanced around the quiet land. They thought it was a joke. A retired rancher living alone on 200 acres of dust, cattle, and fence posts, tucked between dry hills and forgotten highways. The local boys had whispered about Jake Mercer, calling him strange, quiet, reclusive, a nobody with a limp and a shotgun. What they didn't know was that Jake hadn't limped from old age. It was from a bullet he never talked about, earned somewhere between Kandahar and Mogadishu. The scout team, 6 in total, moved through the front pasture like they were gods, careless, guns out, pointing and sneering. But Jake watched from the shadows of his barn, where hand-dug tunnels stretched beneath the land, lined with sensors, cameras, and tripwires. He didn't move yet. He waited, like always. Let them get confident. Let them make noise. Inside his old ranch house, Jake leaned over a dusty radio and murmured codes into a signal no one had cracked in years. His dog didn't bark, trained not to. His cameras didn't blink, military grade. And when he finally walked out into the open with nothing but a coffee mug in hand, he looked harmless. Until he spoke. "Tell Diego," he said calmly, looking straight into the leader's camera drone. "The ghost of Laredo remembers the fire in Michoacan. I was there, and I'm still watching." The scout leader froze. The others didn't understand, but that message, only Diego Rojas would know what it meant. And somewhere far away, Diego's blood ran cold. He had just realized this ranch was never unguarded. It was a trap built by the Reaper. Jake didn't waste time. That night, while cartel drones circled overhead and scouts tried to probe deeper into Ironwood Valley, he opened an old wooden chest buried beneath his floorboards and pulled out a dusty military-issue sat phone, direct access to a network the government pretended didn't exist anymore. In code only ghosts understood, he called them. Hawk, the sniper with eyes like radar. Rusty, the explosives master who could turn rocks into landmines. Ghost, the tech specialist who once hijacked satellites from a jungle. And Doc, the medic who never lost a man unless the body was vaporized. By dawn, they were already positioned. Hawk had the high ridge locked down with thermal scopes, watching the cartel convoy move in like cattle to slaughter. Rusty had spent the night burying charges in cattle troughs, fence posts, and fake fuel barrels. Ghost hacked into Diego's comms, splicing the signal just as Jake's voice cracked through their radios. "Tell your bosses, some ghosts still hunt, and one of them just woke up." Weeks passed, but no more gunfire echoed through Ironwood Valley. The cartel didn't send more men, they sent spies, rumors, drones flying at night, all searching for the truth behind the chaos. And what they found was stranger than fiction. The locals had begun calling it El Pueblo de Sombras, the town of shadows. Stories spread that men vanished in fields, that voices came from nowhere, and that the land itself fought back. Jake and his team stayed, but not as warriors anymore, at least not openly. Hawk began holding weekend hunting workshops, teaching marksmanship safety to farmers and teens, but his techniques were elite military sniper drills in disguise. Rusty vanished into his metal shop, where he taught welding, though in reality, the barn beneath it was now a trap rigging lab. Doc reopened the valley's long-abandoned clinic, healing livestock and locals alike, all while preparing for trauma-level emergencies. Ghost installed weather sensors on power poles, but they were facial recognition cameras tied to a secure grid monitored by a military AI server buried beneath Jake's garage. When the cartel finally tried a legal route, bribing officials to seize the land, they ran into a bureaucratic buzzsaw. Ghost had filed historic preservation papers, claiming the land held Native American ruins. Rusty added environmental hazard complaints, citing endangered flora. Jake got the sheriff on his side with years of recorded threats. And Doc had patient logs signed by over 120 residents, making her clinic untouchable under health protections. Jake didn't fire a single bullet in this phase. He didn't have to. And when a cartel scout returned to Diego with nothing but a map labeled Off Limits, Shadow Territory, Diego finally understood. This wasn't just a ranch anymore. It was a living fortress. Some ghosts don't wear sheets. They wear scars, silence, and a past they never speak of. Jake didn't ask for war, but when it came, he made sure it wouldn't return. If stories of hidden warriors move you, don't forget to subscribe. More shadows wait.